I just had my version of an epiphany, right? I'm always into myself, always inside of myself, seeing everything. So going through this inner versity. There's really no other way to say it. I'm going through this university within myself. In recent weeks, I've been having an issue with just self-sabotage. Not without, just within, just before it comes about, my mind will let me know what I've been doing. So we get into these worlds and we get into these realities within ourselves and these dim inchings, so extensions of us, whatever we are identifying with. So these are curved versions of myself within me. And I'm looking at the significance of the way people love each other, right? So my whole life, people kind of love on each other through not necessarily hate, but through notations that are degrading to the spirit and keeps that spirit in that cycle of emotions, whatever it may be, right? So I'm thinking about how I really just started hugging my mom in recent years and just giving out that energy to her, and seeing that touching each other was it was foreign. It was like not really anything you really did. Like, my dad hugged us, but my mom not so much. She more so just showered us with stuff. And this is me within me getting to the roots of my self-sabotage and just aligning myself with truth within me. It shows me aspects of truth with people, even if it's shit I don't want to see. And I have versions of myself that I have in activation. And these versions of ourselves, they come in and out of our bodies, right? On this plane, in other planes. You're still in this plane, you're still in a body. But you also exist in other planes where stuff is happening with this body, with this being, right? So when myself, when not even just myself, when these spirits, when these energies come in and out of me, or some belong, some don't. The ones that don't belong, they ride out really quickly, because the ones that do belong be like, hey, what you doing? Who is you? Where you come from? So this is within me. So it took me back to the way we entangle with each other, and the way I see girls showing each other love, like, yes, bitch, you a stupid bitch, like just negative notation. It actually made my heart hurt to say that out of my mouth. So certain things I can't even afford to say. I can't even afford to have my voice sending out that vibration to myself. It's a deep thing when you start getting yourself together, like really trusting yourself, because whew, I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. I haven't said that out loud and actually heard my voice say it. This is just something that I'm just learning within me, so me putting it on camera makes it realer for me. And this is usually how I get there within. I have that claps, but something just there just was triggered when I said that out loud. So I gotta get back to that in my private time. So just the way women and people and men, like, men say that's my, they give out these notations, these strong energies toward a being. And excuse me. I'm sorry. I gotta get me right back together. I'm sorry. It's just my rawness. I love so much. But I needed to get this out because it was like me realizing my self-sabotage, right? Me getting to the root of why certain shells, certain versions of self, certain elements within myself when they get out of hand. And I'm still learning that process. And it's crazy because the more I try to rewatch videos that we have in the university and sovereignty mentorship, I just be like, I fall so deep into myself. It'd be like the information be so on point in certain aspects of self that all it takes is a something to click a something within me, and that version of myself be like, oh, okay, get over here. It'd be like, get over here. So I give thanks. I give thanks for that. And it just took me to seeing me call these energies forth and cleansing them with the shadow, the cleansing practice of the of the shadow with tribe. It brings these things up, and I'm seeing that it's showing me outside of me, and it's seeing how I'm responding to things that are brought to my attention. And I'll be like, I ask myself sometimes, like, does this really have something to do with me? And self be like, it's always got something to do with you. When you're not intentionally looking for something, it's always got something to do with you. If something just comes to you all the time, it always has something to do with you. Point blank, period. And I'm just learning that with myself. So just that having so much care with others my whole life and not having it with myself for a long time, and now seeing that self-sabotage was behind a lot of stuff throughout everything. It was always that part of my shadow, I guess. And getting through that and me realizing how my thoughts work and me being so aware of them. The more you really aware and you really know, it be like the shit happens like that, and it be like, damn, I can't even play with myself in my head no more. I can't even I can't say no smart shit. I can't do nothing where I don't feel 100% behind what I'm saying. And I realized how much as people we just be talking bullshit all the time. And a lot of people just nosy. And people gotta realize that they spirit carries over to be nosy. And it just be like intrusive for no reason. And I grasped also that the less that I identify with those people, the less that any of that can actually get to my doorstep. And I love Tribe. Tribe is so extensive, and it's crazy how you manifest things before they happen. I manifested a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff came over into the physical, and I was just like, really? Really, Nick? Really? And it was like all itself. All itself. And I've been living in this house maybe 6 years, 6 or 7 years now. It's not the 7th year, I don't believe. Yeah, maybe 6 years. And it was when I got really serious about my journey, and I knew I needed my space. Like I needed to be not under that landlord. I needed to be like, I knew how important how your energy works, especially with where you're living, and how and I was under, like, he was like an old mayor, governor, so his energy was crazy. And that was me then. So coming here, and even with my address being 114119, and I think it was like a year ago, 2 years ago, it came to me and it was like, you know, your address is the emergency number and the information number. And I was like, what? And then I was like, 114119. So backwards is 411 and 911. And I was like, as soon as I walked in this house, I knew this was my house. I didn't even think about the address, because when I talked to the realtor, he just like, first house off the corner of this place. And I was like, okay. But I didn't realize it till 2 years ago, after living here all this time. And then I reflected over the years and how much I've grown and grounded this house, and how many not even situations, just so much has happened in this house. And so much, so many life-changing, so many memories have happened in this house throughout my whole journey. This house was a part of it. And it brought me to the present when I'm trying to move to Arizona. And it's not that I'm stuck, it's just that I put a lot of grounding into this city. Like, I would be coming from work, walking downtown, and I would just stop and ground on a lake. I would just stop and ground on points of important streets, state streets, downtown Chicago. And I would just ground the city, and I would ground my house when I got home. And I had a lot of crazy shit happening to me back then that I know now what I was doing. And I was like, me now is like, okay, so we here for a little bit. This was me a couple months ago, and me recently just was like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to get out the city and go to the suburbs and stay here? Or do you want to still move across the country where you can start over, where nobody knows you, period? Where it's just a whole, where it's like basically fear is just stopping me, and the not knowing. And I know that, and that's more why I'm like 65% towards still wanting to make that move. But because I don't have a clear gavel down on it, a clear judgment inside of me of what I want to do, so I'm sitting here going through the basis of it, which is my own self-sabotage. And as I just was coming up in my mind, like, man, the basis of it is simple. It doesn't take you to think you have to go back lifetimes. It doesn't take you to have to go back into your DNA to see what's been shown to you in this lifetime. And that is how you've been shown to love, how people show each other they love each other, like how people embrace each other here. Like, everything is a egotistical term of endearment. And if people don't hear that, they look at you like you crazy, and it be looking like, no, but you're sitting in sickness, you're talking to me in sickness. But it's just me really having to be okay with letting people go. And I invested so much energy and just myself into others that it's like I let go. But the empathic, that version of me still receives their thoughts, still receives their feelings, still receives their connection. Like, they still holding on to that part, and it's still sending me a pulse. If I can explain that accurately, because that's exactly what's happening. Because we're all connected. Nothing can disconnect that aspect of us. All we can do is shut off our emotional signature to that vessel. That's it. That's all we're doing. So with me talking to myself, and with me knowing me best, me being with myself the most these last few years, and me having my children in tow, it's a lot, because we're transitioning through a lot. And we're transitioning with school, and me feeling the energies coming to my house during school. Me seeing my children on Fridays, they have this little Harambe thing they do at school. They're in a charter school here in Chicago. And I came into the living room, and my youngest daughter, and I was on my way out, and she's like, Harambe, Harambe. And I said, what the fuck you pulling into my house? And she like, Mom, I'm on the computer with the whole school. So I'm like, what they telling you to do? So I'm like, listening now. So they literally had the kids. So I said, I just saw this on Friday. So I said, ask your teacher what that means. I was like, because I didn't hear them explaining it. I'm like, maybe they explained it to y'all when y'all first did it or something. I ain't gonna go off yet. Because, yeah, I ain't gonna go off yet. So I had to, and I had did this before, where I had words with her teacher, and then the next day the teacher couldn't get into the meeting, and then the next day my daughter couldn't get into a meeting. So I was like, you know what, fix that whole thing, because I have to take responsibility in doing that. Just because I don't agree with something, if you don't agree totally, get your fucking kid out of the thing. That's what I told myself. So the fact that the kids haven't been around other kids, they haven't, so I've given myself all these excuses, and they've given me some too. And right now, until I can disprove their arguments from their position, they're going to make their decision when it comes to school. And I'm okay with that, because that's what I'm doing as a parent. Me and my children come up with something that's going to work. So it's working right now, and they already know. And my daughter was looking like, when she saw me say, what do they have you pulling into my house? Because Harambe, like, I have to look into this. But then again, my spirit be like, you really don't want to look into this. And then I had recalled Brother Dominic putting something in the chat like, yeah, I want to have a build on this. And I'm like, yeah, the same version of you that didn't want to have that build when you saw Dominic ask in the group. Because you ain't want to see all that information, because you know how you are. Go with that energy right now. And so I did, and I said I'll just get back to it. And so I'm gonna do that. But the fact that I feel a whole unit, my tribe gives me so much motivation towards my betterment outside of my children. And it's always good to have that. And I've noticed with having that, it's made me more compassionate with strangers. It's made me more compassionate with even my mother. And me identifying with certain energies around tribe that may remind me of her has shown me better ways to deal with her. Not even to deal with her, but to better align us, just without making her uncomfortable in her own environment either when she's around me. So I give thanks for that within my tribe. And tribe for me is every circle in whence I have a strong connection in, and I have plenty. I have plenty. And the ones that need to connect with the others are connecting. And it makes me so happy to see that happening in a physical. Like, I have tried, but then I have in spirit with my feminine. I was going somewhere else for that alignment. And I was feeling the somewhat of the turbulence on that ship. And I was like, you know, Mama, Papa, can we somewhat meet in the physical form? And Mama had to be convinced, but you know, Papa was like, hey, you know, the more the merrier. And I give thanks. I give thanks for those connections. And it shows me what is true, and nobody can let me know what's not true at this point. There's like, I be so humble about bringing information to people that I let people live in their own worlds, and I just bring my world with me. So the true connection will become when the ideologies start to connect. That's when people start to really truly feel me. And I love that I know that that gift is there for any and everybody that I come into contact with. It's there for any and everybody anyway. But it's more there for people who actually come into direct contact with a being who is on that frequency or somewhat of an alignment towards truth. At this point, if you ask in the slightest way, if you question anything in the slightest way, at this point, it's coming for you. Truth is coming. And the great thing about truth is it can meet you anywhere. It can meet you anywhere. It can meet you through whatever story you want to tell yourself. Whatever story you want to tell yourself. Whatever path you on. Truth can intercept that motherfucker. That's why it never gave a fuck. It never gave a fuck about the false matrices, because it knew all they gotta do is want me a little bit. And I'm seeping through shit. So I'm gonna keep wanting that, and I'm going to keep on breathing that into my reality and give thanks for those I meet on the journey, those who come and those who go, those I learn from, those I won't. And I'm just witnessing the union within myself happen without myself. And just the little things matter to me. Just a little notion of trying to replicate that for me in a way where only I could see it. There's a thanks and a love for myself that's so rooted. It's so rooted in me. That's why it's like myself, that self-sabotaging version of myself can always be flipped. She can always be flipped and called outside of me into the palm of my hands, and I can watch her vibrate into something else real quick. As fast, at whatever color. Any energy that doesn't have my best overall well-being right here in the palm of my hands to whence you go, and get collected there and get transformed there. And get put into Mother Earth and back into my being. And I give thanks for your contribution and anybody else's. And I give thanks for my contribution, because it's not ours. It's not our shit. We have the experiences because we have the bodies. We have the elements rolled into one. We just have it all. You're so fucking spoiled. We're so spoiled. Check this out. Oh, check this out. We so spoiled that we get these motherfucking planets that we just able to create and destroy with whatever story we want to tell the beings or whatever type of beings living on it over and over again. And those beings who chose to come when they chose to come, they got to keep reliving it with you in hopes that they wake up and they can talk to a collective of people and open up to the rest of the ones that just want to keep playing. That's how spoiled we are, that we just get to do that with whole worlds. And the accountability is your karma that you're living in, because that's what you chose to live in. You chose to see something is wrong that you can receive a karma from. But I just choose to recollect myself and see what everybody got together and what everybody got in mind, since this is the reason for us coming. And there are those of us that only come back when it's this time on planets. We only choose to reincarnate when it's this time on the planet for others to awaken. That's why they've made this facade of awakenings. They've made this, oh, Black Lives Matter. They've made this, oh, these lives matter. Oh no, it's these type of people who think this way. Oh no, it's these type of people who think this way. We just layered. The more layered and complex your being is, the more layered and complex this is that we come back into. So I like the clarity I get when I come upon these notations within myself. And then I'll be like, okay, gotta step out these doors and have it in action, right? Have to truly be okay with us. Like, be okay with everybody else too. Cause it'd be like, I love the me that I don't give a fuck. But the me that give a fuck be having a whole lot of fucking reasons why she give a fuck. That I don't give a fuck, it be just be so strong. It be like, nope, I'm holding on to this clarity I got up here. I don't want to think about the reasons why you want me to give a fuck, okay? Just let me be happy. Let the bitch do what she want to do. Let me be happy. And it be that version of you that really give a fuck. That be like, okay. You be like, damn it. Damn it. I love us. I love everybody. I love our uniqueness meshed as one. It just makes me like, I be thinking about the people who, like, I used to be so cold with, and just how even smart and connected they were then, and how just stupid human shit is what got in the way of the spiritual path between me and these beings. And I know, of course, everybody not going to want to go. Everybody don't want to hear this information. Family don't want to hear this information. You know why family don't want to hear this information? It's because they keep getting these scared ass dreams from the other entities that see your woke ass over there coming with the motherfucking treasures. So they say, yeah, we finna fucking scare the fuck out of their family members. Scare the fuck out of them. And make them not want none of that truth that she finna bring to them. And you be like, oh my God, they know me so well. They manipulating everything about me, but it's not really them and their trueness. It's not really them and their trueness. Y'all see Teddy? This Teddy, this bae, y'all. My Teddy got a lot of energy. Bae got a lot of energy. I be having them like this. I be kissing them like that and shit. Be laid on him in the middle of the night. Let me get Teddy out the camera, you know. I don't need nobody on his energy. I don't want to have to fuck nobody up trying to get inside my bed. So, I don't know what I was saying, y'all. I give thanks. It's been 36 minutes, and I've just been rambling. And I guess somewhere along the line I decided that I was going to share this video. So